want to go over a couple things when it comes to tattler lids. I've been using these little thingies for over a couple years now, and there is a learning curve, but once you get it down, it's like it's really good because it saves you a lot of money. So this is a brand new one. Okay, now with brand new ones, there sometimes is a little bit of plastic on the sides left over from the factory press machine, the molding, and sometimes they're long enough to get in the way of your metal lids from screwing down properly. That's not the right size one. Oh, here we go. So from your metal lids from screwing down properly for some reason, or either that or it catches when you open it and it unseals your jar. Either way, it messes it up. So you gotta make sure you take it off. I use fingernail clippers. So I'll just take a fingernail clipper. I don't know if you could see, it's like, you barely could see it. You have to feel it. And just shave it off and make sure it's smooth. And then that's that for that. And then these gaskets, there's like a powder on them because they're new. And I find that if you wash them really well and get that powder off, you have better success the first time around. Because sometimes they'll fail because of that. And then the second time around, they seal because it's all off, obviously. So just take your wash rag and then run it around really well with soap, hot soapy water, and get that powdery residue off. And then you're good. Now some people like to mark theirs every time they use them. I don't have no time to be marking stuff like that. So you know when you've used this enough times where it's not going to work. I don't need to mark them. So, I mean, they're good at least 10 times. And you figure if you can a product, I mean, at least 10, let's see, 10 uses is going to be a couple years. I mean, goodness gracious, I just opened a jar that this was my first use on. It's been jarred for like 2 years. So, these hold. And, I mean, so when they wear out is when they just get too loose and too, like, you'll notice, because I've had them where, I've only had 2 wear out. They just get bigger, then they just get too big to even come over the lip. So they won't even, see, this fits nicely, but you'll notice it stretches out. When it's too big, it'll stretch out and not even cover that. That's when they get too old. So you'll notice. Anywho, they will loosen up though. They aren't going to be tight around here, you know, but they're going to be good to go for at least 10 times or more. They say 10 times, but you can use them more. I have. So you just keep on using them until they don't work no more. And it's obvious when because I've used these so much, it's totally obvious when they're not going to be working no more. So there's no need to mark it. And then what you want to do after each use as well is you want to make sure you wash them with hot soapy water. Again, each one, wash, 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 wash. You want to make sure you wash them all after each use with hot soapy water with your wash rag and soap, and just gently go around, pull it around with a little bit of little rough rag, not too rough. You don't want to mark it. It's like a softness. You want a soft but rough, right? And then wash this real well, because if you have any leftover stuff, it's not going to seal either. And then you are gonna just soak them in hot boiling water. And it doesn't take much. I just put them in hot boiling water, let them soak for about a few minutes while I'm prepping everything, and then they're ready to go. And even by the time I'm ready to put the lids on, the water's cooled down enough for me to actually handle them sometimes. Let's see. Also, people need to watch out for these gaskets sticking together. So the gaskets will stick together. And you see, there's two gaskets. Sometimes the water makes them stick together. And then you're jarring, and then you put it on, and sometimes you don't even realize it. But watch out for that as well. And then sometimes the rings will have a hard time turning. Don't use those rings. Use a different ring. Sometimes the rust ones, they usually will, they're good on just flats, right? You can use rusted ones on flats, well, oxidated ones, but you don't want to use them on tattlers. Just the roughness will interfere. So I think I covered everything when it comes to prepping your lids. Just take good care of your stuff. Make sure it's all really, really clean, and then watch how I do it, and you should have pretty good success rate. Okie dokie.